Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Can't wait to get started with today's episode of the Cabral Concept. It's our Friday review, episode 3234. If you want to check out the product review link, which will be right there, it is an amazing and free app that is replacing one of my favorite companies that unfortunately is no longer for an HRV based app. We'll talk about that. The book review today, I will be sharing this with you. Easy daily reader again, something that I actually was looking to put together over this past year that is now on my 2025 list. I'll share with you what that is. And then 2 research studies you're not going to want to miss because it is everything that's wrong with the science-based community. We'll share what that is. And then some amazing things going on in the health tech-based field that I think we can all look forward to because it's going to make all of our lives that much better and easier in the future. So let's dive right into the show. This is episode, as I said, 3234, debuting on December 13th. So pretty amazing that we're already through once again another year. I just want to share with you that I've got a bunch of shows coming up over the next couple of weeks that is going to help set you up for success in the new year. Of course, they're all free. They're going to be on the Monday shows, all about the new 12-week year guide, what it's going to take this year to break past your plateaus, achieve your highest potential. That's absolutely what I want for you. December, again, I just love the holidays. I love the holidays all from Thanksgiving right through. We celebrate Christmas in my family and New Year's, a little time off with my daughters, but it's also the anticipation of the new year. I'm excited about what every new year brings, even though it's just a different day on a calendar. Truthfully, it is a starting new, right? A starting fresh, and hopefully taking a lot of the learnings of what worked and what didn't into that new year. So stay tuned for these upcoming Monday shows. Hope to be able to bring you some of the best of the year to have your best year yet next year. All right, let's dive right into it. Podcast recap from this past week. Episode 3230 was, this should be your ultimate goal in life. I go over very specifically kind of setting you up for the new year to refocus what your goals even are. Now, everybody should have goals. They should have relationship goals and spirituality goals and health goals and body transformation goals and career-based goals. Like, all of those are great, or finance, or whatever you want it to be. And not everybody has to have like crazy goals. Like, that's just not necessarily what it is. But we need to know like what's acceptable in our life, what we want to strive for, and also what's not acceptable, what we're not going to allow as our standard. And so I share that on episode 3230. Of course, all the shows are at stephencabral.com/podcasts. All right, Tuesday's show is the main reasons why your body feels itchy. Sometimes people get this itchiness in their body and it won't go away. For those cases, if you know anybody like that, that's episode 3231. All right, next episode was 3 foods that affect PCOS. It can spike PCOS. So this is an important show because so many women are affected with PCOS and have irregular menstrual cycles, fertility-based issues, hormone imbalances, thinning hair, adult-based acne, and so much more. So definitely check out that show. Yesterday's show was all about sex hormone-binding globulin and why people's hormone levels are becoming so low. Low testosterone in men, and also estrogen levels. Excuse me. Estrogen levels in women. All right, that's the podcast recap from the week. All those shows will be at stephencabral.com/podcasts. Let's get into our product review of the week. So one of my favorite companies was called Hanu. I believe they were around for 3 years, headed up by Dr. Jay Wiles and his team. Chris was one of the founders, and they're a great team. Great people, like really doing it for the right reasons. And I love that. They were using Hanu to try to help people understand the times in their life when they have the highest levels of stress and anxiety, and working with clinical therapists like Dr. Jay Wiles is a clinical psychologist. And that was a great effort. And the truth is that not every business works out. It's just the way that it is. You go all in, you give your best, and sometimes it's just not the right fit, or it's not the right fit at that moment. So I'm really proud of them. They went for it. They put out a great product, and it just didn't work out. And they're all going to be really successful. They're just moving on now to whatever the next venture is, helping people in the health-based field, because I have no doubt they're going to stay in the health field and they're going to continue to help people in great ways. So what I wanted to share with you, though, I got a lot of questions from the community. What do we use now that Hanu is no longer available? So I had a bunch of different apps that I was looking at, like what could replace it. Because there was a device out there that I used to use many, many years ago. And it was like a Holter monitor. You literally stuck it right below your heart, right below the left side of your pectoral. And it was called Leaf Therapeutics. And they're still a great company. I'm not saying that they're not at all. But I was saying, is there a way that we can get this to more and more people? And the truth is, yes, there is. And the app is free. It's called Elite HRV. I have no affiliation with this company right now. In the future, if we can collaborate or do things with them, we'll certainly do that. But it's literally free. Now, they have a premium edition. You can certainly pay for that. But I use the free one. And all you need is a Polar H10 heart rate monitor strap. So this is the most accurate way to get your heart rate in general. If you're doing cardio, that's intense cardio, this keeps it up to the second, whereas an Apple Watch, which is very good, can sometimes have a difficult time getting your heart rate, and certainly an Oura Ring and Whoop strap have a much more difficult time. But this Polar's been around forever. When I was in high school, college, there was Polar. I mean, it's been around for a bit. And so you wear this just underneath your chest, and then you open the Elite HRV app. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate you subscribing, being a part of the channel. We hope to do some even bigger things next year. But it looks like this. So if you're not watching the video, I'll describe it right now. So essentially, what it's showing is and I'm going to put on my do not disturb for everyone here. But what it shows is an open session, and then it looks at your actual heart rate. And then besides your heart rate, it's showing you your heart rate variability. So if you don't know what your heart rate variability is, it's essentially a measure of the milliseconds between heartbeats. And the more variation there is, believe it or not, the better and healthier it is. So when you're looking at it right now, you see open reading, and then you see the little circle at the top. I use this with all of my private clients and have for a very long time. It's called bioresonance breathing. So if you want to breathe along with it, you breathe in as the circle expands, and you breathe out as the circle shrinks. And what this allows you to do is bring your nervous system back into resonance. Hopefully it lowers your heart rate, and you can watch it in real time. And it raises your heart rate variability. And when you get good at this just with practice, because this allows you to practice, then you can regulate your stress and anxiety and nervous system. It's one of the best things out there. And then you can just press the stop button at the very bottom when you're done with your session. So just yesterday, I wanted to try this out for everybody. I kept it open during my meetings, all of my meetings. So I had this open for an hour and a half straight during my 1:30 to 3 o'clock meetings. And it then took what my average HRV was and my average heart rate, and I got to look at that. So it's really, really great. One of the best things to do is to do this kind of after lunch or resetting the nervous system for digestion, but also before bed to calm the body, work on the resonance breathing. So it's called Elite HRV. We're going to link it up at stephencabral.com/3234. The great thing is it's free for Android and iOS. I have an iPhone 16. And then what I recommend, and I'm going to link, I can link this up, because it's not a nutritional supplement. So the FDA says that's okay. So we're going to link up the Polar H10 heart rate monitor. You may already have one. And if you do, great. You're just going to sync it, and you'll be able to use this. And it's not something that you need to use every day. That's the great thing about it. You're going to practice improving your HRV, which then calms your body, shifts you into the parasympathetic nervous system. Just amazing for healing, amazing for rejuvenation. All right, so that is the new recommendation instead of the Hanu-based device. All right, let's check out now our book review of the week. It is a book by Anthony Pompliano called How to Live an Extraordinary Life. So I was just recommended this last week. I'm someone who does like to jump on things. When I got the recommendation, I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. I know who Anthony, I think his nickname is Pomp, Anthony Pompliano. I don't know him well, but I think he is someone in the finance-based space. I'm certainly not someone in the finance-based space, but I bought the book because I love a good book. And this book, because he's a very smart guy, this book is more business and success oriented. But it's not about that. It's about life in general, but it's absolutely geared more towards the business-based space. But there were a few things that and again, I think it's a great book for everybody, but this is kind of how his mind is looking at it. He writes, the smartest people I know obsessively read books, pursue new mental models, enjoy intelligent discourse, quickly admit when they're wrong, are comfortable changing their opinion, surround themselves with intelligence, seek to understand every perspective on a topic. So although kind of geared towards business, it's for life in general. What is it saying? Well, keep an open mind, be willing to hear different sides of the story. If you're wrong, admit it quick, and try to always continue to look at new ways of growing. So it's really, really nice. Tie your identity to your own name. The more you help other people become successful, the more success finds you. And then just all small little chapters. They're probably 3-page chapters on average, and then lots of large base quotes pulled out. Now, here's the thing that I found the most fascinating, because it was one of my 2024 goals, and I'll be talking about it on a future 12-week year episode coming up in the next week or two. But I set goals for myself in 2024, and I didn't hit a couple of them. And I can go back and forth. I can beat myself up, but I'm also a believer that with where I'm at now, I understand the goal setting process, and it's like, was it the right time? And maybe it just wasn't the right time. Maybe I'm not in the right mindset for that. And I actually do believe that to a degree, but I've been looking to, and I don't know if I ever will, but I've been looking to, and I've written a couple, write letters to my daughters. They're 10 and 12 years old now. It's something that of what I've kind of learned over the years that I wish I knew when I was their age, that I wish I knew when I was young. But I'm also someone that when I start something, I'm going to continue with it. But if I can't continue with it, I'm not going to start it. And I had so much going on this year. Again, it's an excuse, but I didn't start it. I've opened this book, had no idea. These are actually letters that he wrote to his daughter and son, I believe, Sophia and Leo. And it's interesting. It's more business-based, but these are small little letters that he wrote to his kids. So I thought that was great, because I have the same idea. Obviously, I'm not the first person to think of that. Anthony's not the first person to think about it. But it's a great thing to be able to pass on to your kids. It's just some things that you wish you knew. And sometimes you have the discussion, but they're not always ready to accept when you're having the discussion. But maybe if they had that written in front of them, could be a nice way to allow them to process it on their own time. Anyway, a great book for kids and adults, and it is called How to Live an Extraordinary Life by Anthony Pompliano. All right, let's get to the research for the week. This first one makes my blood boil, but then I always have hope when we get to the second one. All right, so the first one is this. This is the headline I saw. Pharma paid $1.06 billion to reviewers at top medical journals. Again, I'm not shocked in any way, shape, or form, but the problem is that the general public, 99.99 out of 100 people, they believe everything they see in every Wall Street Journal or every whatever article that's out there. Here's the issue. Payments to, these are direct quotes. So payments to peer reviewers for the BMJ, I think it's the British Medical Journal, JAMA, one of the largest reputable journals in the world, The Lancet, and the New England Journal of Medicine included over $1 billion to individuals for their their institutions for research, and $64.18 million in general payments, including travel and meals. Among the 2,000 physicians peer reviewers analyzed, more than half received at least one industry payment between 2020 and 2022. More than half of the reviewers accepted payment for travel, speaking, and consulting. Those direct, non-research related payments had a median value of $7,614. The authors said that they may have underestimated industry payments because it excluded non-US based physicians and reviewers who are not practicing physicians. It didn't account for payments and other entities that may present conflicts of interest, including insurance or technology companies. So the number is even greater than $1.06 billion. But basically, what are they doing? Well, this is essentially the dirty little secret they use with government and senators and Congress people, et cetera. You get these lobbyists. This isn't even this specifically, but you get these lobbyists. They go into government-based organizations and they say, hey, if you were to recommend this or vote this way, we might think kindly of you in the future. And then they stop their government-based position a few years later. And you can see this. This is in many documentaries. And they're paid millions of dollars to sit on the board of one of these pharmaceutical-based companies. For what reason? No reason, except not qualification necessarily. Of course, they won't say that. But you were able to usher in whatever it was that they're looking for. Now, these particular ones, we pay for your travel, we pay for your meals. We're not telling you what to say. We're not telling you what to write. We're not saying don't give us a bad review, but the median pay we gave you is $7,614. Like it's hush hush money. It's the same thing when you pay when a pharmaceutical-based company is the main advertiser for TV and news-based shows. Essentially, they know they're going to get favorable coverage, because if they didn't get favorable coverage, they would pull their advertising from that channel. So these things are really insidious and should never be allowed into especially peer-reviewed, reputable journals like the ones above. That's why please do take everything you see with a grain of salt. Everything you see. You have to be careful. All right. That's that on that. I'll let you make and draw your own conclusions. Of course, I'm not saying anything specifically. I'm just saying that we live in a very deceitful world. We have to be careful. And that includes so-called science, and I'm putting that in air quotes. All right. The last one, though, I don't know what your feelings are on it, but I just saw, and I'm not going to pull up the link, but I will link it up today at 32:34 for today's episode. So Oura Ring just took on, I think, another $75 million. So I just want to say, I wear the Oura Ring. I've been wearing it forever, for however long it's been out. I'm not an affiliate for Oura Ring. They don't have affiliates anymore. It's still a great product. I've always said to you, I'm going to recommend the best products in the industry. That's it. Whether I'm an ambassador, not an ambassador for them, doesn't matter. I'm never going to use, I'm never going to promote something that I don't use myself, that I don't love. If I get compensated in some way, great. If I don't, that doesn't matter too. Like, no big deal. So here's the thing. I think they're doing great work. I really do. I even bought my oldest daughter the new Gen 4, and it was an investment. I said, she'd been asking for years. They didn't have one that fit her, and she was also too young. But we're working on improving her overall sleep, and she's getting more into sports and all these great things. And I didn't want her to become obsessive about it either, so I didn't want to get it. She kept asking, like, in a nice way. She's a great kid. And I said, all right, you really want it? They just came out with the new sizes, and she was so excited about it. And we could put it on airplane mode. That's the great thing about the Oura Ring. Anyway, I could go on and on. It's just it's a great health tech based device. Every one of my private wellness clients I recommend it for, and of course, I'm going to recommend it for you. My wife has one. My mom has one. Of course, I have one. And they're just, again, they're great devices, especially for tracking your sleep and overall health. Okay. So what am I fascinated about? $75 million infused in the company. This company is now a $5 billion valuation. I don't know if they're a public company or not public company. I actually have no idea. I don't really get into that part of the business of health. But what I will say is this, the money came from Dexcom. Why is that interesting? Because Dexcom is essentially the largest continuous glucose monitor company. And I just recommended their Stelo-based device just a couple weeks ago on a Friday review. It's the least expensive CGM out there. Here's the new revelation. Oura Ring is going to now directly in the future integrate with the CGMs by Dexcom, and will be able to provide you all of the highs and lows and stress in the body, all related to blood sugar as well. And again, this is just the start. This is why I get excited about it. This is what I teach in high performance health. So if you're interested and you like to geek out on longevity, anti-aging, and health tech, definitely check out highperformancehealth.org. Literally the highest level of anti-aging, longevity-based research and real-world actionable plans you can do. Early prevention, so much. And so definitely check that out. And if you're interested in becoming a high-performance health coach, there's also that opportunity as well. But anyway, this is just the start, because these CGMs are great for looking at blood glucose levels. But in the future, they're going to be able to monitor so much more. Inflammation, spikes potentially in different viruses, or a spike in hormones, or whatever it might be. It's going to be able to track anything that you can track in your blood. So this is just the beginning. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No, it's years away. But right now we have what we can use, which is sleep tracking and blood glucose tracking and so much more. And one device, especially if you can wear it on your ring, makes it even easier. And a lot of people, they just wear their Oura Ring to bed. So again, this isn't an ad for Oura. I'm not affiliated with them, but it is a great device. And I do believe that it allows people to stay more conscious of their health as well, and getting healthy sleep sleep is just such a big part of the overall de-stress protocol and health-based process in general. So I will link all of these up if you want to read the deceit of Big Pharma. Once again, I'll link it up. If you want to read the good news about Oura and Dexcom, I'll link those up. The free app for Elite HRV and the book, How to Live an Extraordinary Life, will all be at stephencabral.com/3234. Have an amazing rest of the day. I'll be back tomorrow with our Cabral house calls, answering all of our community questions. Take care, buddy. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.